Business Buzz.
Good evening and welcome to the Business Buzz, where we focus on local and global events that affect the economy of Sri Lanka. I'm Tharuni Karunaratne. Let's start off with the headlines for tonight. Will the government increase excise taxes? Inflation increases in December 2023. 200,000 tourists last month. Major challenge to artificial intelligence as New York Times sues Microsoft and OpenAI. Argentina pulls out from joining BRICS. Projections for oil, coal, gold and silver for 2024. We start out with some market news. Hot on the heels of the increase in the value-added tax from the 1st of January, come reports that the government is considering an increase in the excise tax on a wide range of items. The government is considering the implementation of higher excise taxes since the recent increase in VAT will not result in achieving the required revenue for this year. Reports said that the government is considering increasing the excise tax to reflect the annual rate of inflation on the new prices that have increased due to VAT. Excisable products include fizzy drinks and alcohol, petrol, diesel and super diesel, newspapers, journals and periodicals, certain electronic items like fridges and washing machines, boats and trishaws. Sri Lanka's tourism minister announced that Sri Lanka received 200,000 tourists last month.
The government's target of 1.5 million tourists in 2023 was almost achieved, falling just short. Arrivals in December crossed the 200,000 mark for the first time in 4 years, the last time having been before the COVID pandemic. Tourism Minister Harin Fernando tweeted that, quote, tourist arrivals passed 200,000 in December, highest arrival for the last 4 years in 1 month. Tourist arrivals will be almost close to 1.5 million, which was the original target set in January 2023, unquote. The Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority said that the top source markets for the year are India with 20%, Russia at 14%, the UK at 10%, Germany at 7% and Australia with 5%. These numbers reflect the number of foreign passport holders who have visited the country and includes visitors of Sri Lankan descent who hold foreign passports.
The government is considering revoking the ban on palm oil production and importation, a key policy decision that would be cheering news for several plantation companies that are currently engaged in growing oil palms in various areas of the country. The government is considering the removal of the prohibition on palm oil, correcting the previous policy decision taken by the Gotabaya Rajapaksa regime in April 2021. At present, Sri Lanka consumes 220,000 metric tons of palm oil, of which only 12% is produced locally. Palm oil is used in many aspects of daily life, from toothpaste to shampoo, to soap, to lipstick, to confectionery. It is a highly lucrative crop when compared with many of Sri Lanka's other crops. However, opponents of palm oil argue that it tends to use a large amount of groundwater and also prevents other flora from growing between oil palm trees and therefore reduces biodiversity. Several of Sri Lanka's plantation companies began converting some of their estates to oil palm cultivation but were forced to halt this due to the government ban. The world's largest growers of oil palm are Indonesia and Malaysia. There's been an interesting development that is likely to affect the artificial intelligence industry, where the New York Times filed a lawsuit against Microsoft and OpenAI. New York Times had filed a lawsuit against OpenAI and Microsoft, accusing them of using millions of the newspaper's articles without permission to help train chatbots to provide information to readers. The Times is not seeking a specific amount of damages, but estimated damages in the billions of dollars. It also wants OpenAI and Microsoft to destroy chatbot models and training sets that incorporate its material. The New York Times is the first major US media organization to sue OpenAI, which is the creator of ChatGPT, and Microsoft. Microsoft is an investor in OpenAI and is also the creator of the AI platform known as Copilot. Many writers, novelists, comedians, and other artists have already filed lawsuits against AI platform operators to limit the automatic collection of data by AI services of their online content without compensation. The newspaper's complaint, filed in Manhattan Federal Court, accused OpenAI and Microsoft of trying to, quote, free ride on the Times' massive investment in its journalism, unquote, by using it to provide alternative means to deliver information to readers. In its lawsuit, the Times said that AI is using its content without payment to create products that substitute for the Times and steals audiences away from it. OpenAI and Microsoft have said that using copyrighted works to train AI products amounts to fair use, a legal doctrine governing the unlicensed use of copyrighted material. The newspaper said that talks to avert a lawsuit and allow a mutually beneficial value exchange with the defendants were unsuccessful. OpenAI said in a statement that it had been engaged in discussions with the New York Times and it is surprised and disappointed with this development. Microsoft has not yet commented on the lawsuit. The Times' lawsuit cited several instances in which OpenAI and Microsoft chatbots gave users near verbatim excerpts of its articles. It also said the defendants' chatbots make it harder for readers to distinguish fact from fiction, including when their technology falsely attributes information to the newspaper. Now, Argentina has reversed course and announced that it will not be joining the global organization BRICS. Just 3 days before Argentina was to be formally admitted to the BRICS, new President Javier Milei announced that he was reversing the decision of his predecessor and his country would not be joining the global organization. Milei, who was elected in November 2023, has pledged to strengthen ties with the West and sees no advantage in joining BRICS, which is a grouping of countries outside of the West. BRICS was originally formed by Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Argentina was to have been formally admitted on the 1st of January 2024, along with Egypt, Iran, Ethiopia, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates in the first major expansion of BRICS. The crisis over attacks on ships in the Red Sea continues, with one of the major shipping lines saying that it is opting to return, but others continuing to route ships around the much longer African route. Denmark's Maersk shipping line has scheduled several dozen container vessels to travel via the Suez Canal and the Red Sea in the next several weeks, in a sign that global shipping firms are keen on returning to the route. France's CMA CGM line similarly said it was increasing the number of vessels traveling through the Suez Canal. But Germany's Hapag-Lloyd line said it still believes the Red Sea is too dangerous and will continue to send ships around the Cape of Good Hope, as are many other lines. Almost all of the world's top shipping companies stopped using Red Sea routes after Yemen's Houthi militant group began targeting vessels last month, disrupting global trade. This is a worrying factor for Sri Lanka's shipping and export industries, as ships that visit Sri Lanka on the route between Europe and Asia come through the Red Sea. Maersk said it was preparing a return to the Red Sea for both eastbound and westbound journeys, citing the deployment of a US-led military operation to protect vessels against Houthi attacks. But many of its vessels are still scheduled to take the journey around Africa. A spokesperson for Hapag-Lloyd said that the company still considers the situation too dangerous, adding that it would continue to reroute its vessels via the Cape of Good Hope. Some 20 countries are contributing to a US-led naval force that is patrolling the Red Sea. But there are worries that attacks on shipping will spread, with one vessel being attacked by a drone off the coast of India, which is also much closer to Sri Lanka. This led India to deploy half a dozen vessels to patrol the Arabian Sea. Now here's a look at the latest projections by Trading Economics on how prices of important commodities are likely to move in 2024. Oil prices remain volatile and are expected to remain so for some time due to the fear of supplies being disrupted by attacks on shipping in the Red Sea. West Texas Intermediate crude futures hovered below $72 per barrel, underpinned by disruptions to global trade amid increased Houthi attacks on ships in the Red Sea. Oil shipments in the Red Sea dropped by more than 40% in the past 2 weeks compared to the daily average over the previous 3 weeks. Global supply remains strong as the bulk of the Middle East Middle East crude oil is exported from the Persian Gulf through the Strait of Hormuz. Meanwhile, oil prices came under downward pressure after Angola announced that it is leaving OPEC amid disagreements over the country's oil output quota for 2024. Gold prices increased 13.24% in 2023 and was trading at $2,066.18 per troy ounce. Forward projections for the price of gold envisage it to trade at $2,144.61 in 12 months' time. Silver increased 0.91% in 2023, ending the year at $23.74. Looking forward, silver is estimated to trade at $26.24 in 12 months' time. Global prices for coal are expected to stabilize in 2024 after dropping by 64% in 2023. Coal decreased $258.65 per metric ton in 2023. Looking forward, coal is estimated to trade at $147.12 in 12 months' time.
The Business Buzz.
උඹේ කතාව අහන්න මිනිස්සු ඉන්න ඇති. උඹේ දුක අහන්නත් මිනිස්සු ඉන්න ඇති. හැබැයි උඹේ ප්‍රශ්නට උත්තර දෙන්න මිනිස්සු නෙවෙයි.
Thank you very much. ඒක ලොකු උදව්වක් මචං.
ඒ අනුව මලින්ද මේඝවත්තගේ ඝාතනයට මෑගේ සම්බන්ධයක් නැති බව පැහැදිලි වෙනවා ස්වාමීනි.
ස්වාමීනි, උගත් නීතිඥවරියගේ ප්‍රකාශය මා පිළිගන්නේ නැහැ. මේ වෙබ් සම්කාරිය එන්නේ නිකන් නෙවෙයි. මේ ඝාතනයට අවශ්‍ය පිහියකුත් රැගෙන ස්වාමීනි.
ආදිත්‍ය ප්ලීස්. මගේ ප්‍රශ්න වාගේ ප්‍රශ්න කරගන්න.
නීල පබලු. හෙට රාත්‍රී 9ට සිරස ටෙලිතිරයෙන්.
I've had this idea for a few years now to go on a quest to try and discover who he was.
Why did you have to go for something like this?
I want them to see this film and say, oh my God, this country is beautiful.
Was there a motive behind this whole documentary to promote tourism?
It was an unintended consequence, I'd say, Maria. And so when I started this film, I had an idea of a story. But when I ended it, I had a whole different understanding of who he was.
20 years later, we are still finding every opportunity to honor the genius of the place.
Newsfirst exclusive with writer and director of The Genius of the Place of the Laziz. 5th of January 2024 from 9:30 p.m. onwards on TV1. Streaming live on Newsfirst YouTube and Facebook channels.
The Business Buzz.
Top banking professional Sashi Kandambi has been appointed General Manager and CEO of National Savings Bank from the 10th of January 2024. She replaces Ajit Piris, who retired recently. A seasoned banker with 34 years' experience, she joins NSB after serving as the Senior Deputy General Manager of International Banking at Sampath Bank, where she had a long-standing and successful career. Among the positions she held at Sampath Bank were Senior Deputy General Manager Corporate Banking and Deputy General Manager Credit. She holds an MBA from the Postgraduate Institute of Management of the University of Sri Jayawardenepura, a postgraduate diploma in Business and Finance from CH Sri Lanka, and a diploma in Banking from the Institute of Bankers Sri Lanka. Lanka Milk Foods PLC has concluded a 5 billion rupees worth shareholding restructuring of 4 of its subsidiaries. They are Ambevela Products Limited, United Dairies Lanka Limited, Ambevela Livestock Company Limited and Pattipola Livestock Company Limited. LMF has transferred its entire shareholding in the 4 subsidiaries to Lanka Dairies Limited, another fully owned subsidiary. The ultimate ownership of the 4 subsidiaries will continue to be with LMF. This is for the purpose of streamlining the ownership and operational structure of the companies within the group and consolidation of dairy business value chain under one company. The 5 billion rupee consideration will be settled by Lanka Dairies Limited through the issuance of new shares in LDL to LMF at 10 rupees per share. The Sheraton Colombo Hotel was officially opened last weekend. It is part of the world's largest hotel chain, Marriott International. Owned by Lanka Hotels and Residencies Limited, the project was delayed due to the COVID pandemic and Sri Lanka's economic troubles. LHR has invested nearly $100 million in the development of the Colombo Sheraton Hotel and has entered into a 30-year management contract with Marriott International. Little Hearts, a fundraising project to build a cardiac and critical care complex at Lady Ridgeway Children's Hospital, received a donation of 1 billion Sri Lankan rupees from businessman Nahil Vijaysurya. The donation comes through Agnes Vijaysurya Children's and Elders Home. These funds will be mainly utilized for installation of the already delayed air conditioning system at the cardiac and critical care complex at the Lady Ridgeway Hospital. With this donation, Little Hearts should be able to complete the construction before the end of 2024 to commence patient care services. Commercial Bank and DEMO have come together to offer attractive discounts and other benefits to customers who obtain leasing facilities for commercial vehicles and agri-machinery from DEMO. The promotion covers the popular Tata Ace HT2, widely known locally as DEMO Batta, in the commercial vehicle segment, and tractors from the Mahindra and Swaraj brands, and Lovol combine harvesters in the agriculture machinery segment. The Kandy Municipal Council has forged a strategic partnership with the leading mobile payment app Pay & Go to facilitate seamless tax and bill payments. The partnership ensures that residents in Kandy can effortlessly pay their taxes by integrating Pay & Go's user-friendly app and accessible kiosks. Pay & Go has more than 1,000 kiosks and 750 plus point-of-sale outlets strategically placed across Sri Lanka, providing accessible touchpoints for users. The mobile app has witnessed an impressive 100,000 plus downloads. Union Assurance has appointed Senath Jaitilaka as its new CEO with effect from 1st January 2024. He previously served as Deputy CEO and Chief Distribution Officer. Union Assurance is a subsidiary of the John Keells Group. Senath began his journey with the group in 2007. Prior to joining Union Assurance, he held the post of CEO of John Keells Logistics Limited. Link Natural Products Private Limited was honoured with several major awards recently. They included Best Exporter Herbal and Ayurveda at the Presidential Export Awards and the Gold Award in the large category in pharmaceutical products at the 31st Annual Export Awards. Bank of Ceylon has been named as Bank of the Year Sri Lanka by the prestigious Banker magazine of the UK. It was also listed among the top 1,000 banks in the world for the 12th consecutive year.
The Bank of Ceylon's debenture issue was oversubscribed and closed on the 22nd of December 2023. The Basel III compliant Tier 2 listed, rated, unsecured, subordinated redeemable issue for 10 billion rupees at 100 rupees each was a first for a state bank. The debentures are rated BBB Plus by Fitch Ratings. The debenture issue was for a period of 5 years and came in two types. Type A carries a fixed interest rate of 15% payable annually, and Type B carries a floating interest rate of 12 months T-bill rates plus 1%. Applications were only for Type A debentures of 15% per annum fixed rate from resident qualified investors.
Facets, the Gem and Jewellery exhibition marks 30 years this year. It is organised by the Sri Lanka Gem and Jewellery Association, the National Gem and Jewellery Authority and the Export Development Board. This year's exhibition will take place at the Cinnamon Grand from 6th to 8th January. This year, Facets will showcase several pavilions, including the Sapphire Masterpiece Pavilion, the Gem Pavilion, Premier Jewellery Pavilion, Sustainable Pavilion, NGJA SME Pavilion and the SLGJA Pavilion.
The Business Buzz.
අනේද කියන්නේ. ඕවා හෙද්දි මතක් වෙන්නේ පැටවුන්ට කෙලින් යන්න නොගන්නපු කකුල වගේ කතාව.
දෑදුකුට උඹට තාත්තා කකුලුවා. ඈ?
ඒක හරියට හොයාගෙන ඒකට බෙහෙත දෙනකන් ඔයයි පොඩි එකයි පරිස්සම් වෙන්න ඕනේ අක්කේ.
හිතුනම තාත්තා මගෙන් ඈතට ගියා වගේ. ඔහොම ඈතට ගියා කියලා.
ආදරේ තරම් හෙට රාත්‍රියටයි දිහට
සිරස ටෙලිතිරයෙන්.
So these are the three industries that, very interestingly, the industries that brings in dollars to this country, right? The tea, the garment and the migrant workers.
There was a time when the plantation child was seen as a child who was groomed to be a domestic worker. But then things have really changed.
When one domestic worker migrates, I think an employer pays to almost 800,000 to 1 million rupees for one domestic worker.
Not only participation, becoming politician, but also exercising your voting rights as a citizen of the country.
Creating public awareness is one of the important things that should happen. And then the workers need to be organized, and then facilities given for them to sort of organize themselves and demand for their rights.
Face the Nation, Wednesday nights at 9:30 on TV1.
The Business Buzz.
It is now time for Food for Thought, where we give you something to think about.
The year 2024 has arrived, and it's quite likely to be the most decisive year in Sri Lanka's post-independence history. At the moment, the economy is struggling, and the people are groaning under the hammer blows of multiple tax increases, lost jobs, and the cost of living. But by mid-year, the country will be fully in the grip of election fever, with every political party striving to impress the voters. By the end of the year, we are likely to have a new parliament, perhaps a new president, and possibly new provincial councils. In short, the political landscape is about to change in a massive way, and along with elections will come the violence that regretfully always accompanies the exercise of our franchise. Meanwhile, investors will be mainly watching from the sidelines, uncertain yet of who will be in office. But regardless of this, the million-dollar question, or should we say the billion-dollar question, is how much the economy will recover in 2024. A little bit, a lot, or will it plunge back into negative territory? Yes, 2024 will certainly be a decisive year.
We'll leave you tonight with words of wisdom of a global leader, as we always do. As Sri Lanka lurches toward multiple elections, many will be the promises made to the people and mudslung at the opponents. But it would be wise for everyone to keep in mind throughout 2024 the famous campaign slogan of President Bill Clinton in 1992. It's the economy. And that's all the time we have for you tonight. For the Business Buzz and Newsfirst team, I'm Thirni Karunaratne. We'll see you again next week, same time. Until then, take care and good night.
The Business Buzz. TV for life.
2, 3, 4, 1.